So Ray, from a barber too. You showing off. She got the
okay, come through design.
Yes. Not to dread. Go ahead, girl.
Hey guys, we here on the episode. It's an everything we do. Everything. We got our two special guests here. Our returning guest, Reverend Angela.
What up, Rev?
Yeah, Rev. And then we got our lovely strategist, Miss Renee. I'm gonna let her introduce herself and tell us a little bit how the strategist.
Because I'm like that, you got to introduce.
Yeah, you put a name like that, you gotta introduce yourself. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, first of all, thank y'all for having me today, okay? And I'm going to tell you a little bit about this impartation strategist thing going on. So, being educated and versed in the church and in the world, I want to understand that I can meet all people in every place where they are. You understand what I'm saying? I get away from religiosity and all of that stuff, right? So, I deal with people where they are. What I do is I come and ignite what's already inside of you. So, if you want to live your best life, you have to be your best self. Therefore, I impart. Who am I? Renee, the impartation strategist. Come with it, Suade, because I know you got something, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, it just got real. It's in everything we do.
Jabez, do we need to lead them on?
I'm not going nowhere. I'm gonna hold my man's hand and be right here in support system. You know what I'm saying? You got
I'm
this.
also from B-More.
Okay.
And that's how I love him, baby. I can't even get away from a B-More man. So talk to me, Suade.
The thing is, the difference is, she left. I'm still here in the trenches. I know what's going on as of right now.
Let me tell you something about Baltimore, Suade. Baltimore never leaves the woman.
Never.
The woman may leave Baltimore, but Baltimore never leaves the woman. So you're talking to two Baltimore women transplanted other places, still doing the work that we called to do.
Because what I'm doing, Angie, I'm making a better Baltimore. We'll talk about my film that I created about a better Baltimore a little later. But let's get into this. It's your show, and I'm loving it.
We got
loving this energy. I'm loving this energy.
This ain't the Rev baby talked to the last time. This her twin. That's now the Rev coming.
Wait a minute. What's different? Rev was Rev the last time.
I know,
I had
Rev.
to
I'm
be
just
a little
messing.
late.
But you know, when you get your sister friend, come on, you know, we holding hands. We sister friend. You know what I'm saying? I ain't having you out here by yourself, sis.
We hit rocks though.
When the twin powers activate.
What you know about Super Friends? What you know about Super Friends? Speaking of Super Friends, that's a good way to get into the topic, though.
Yeah.
There we go.
So the topic today is talking about family matters. We're going to talk about the dynamics of family between having relations and with mothers, fathers, children, blended families, just everything that comes with it. Like with this episode, we're going to talk on where it got to actually reach people. We got to get to the depths of it where it's going to really reach them for real. Because we, as our listeners and our followers that we got going on, we hitting them, but we need to take them off their feet. And
I were the perfect ones to do that.
Yeah.
We need that. The rawness from queen levels. That don't hold no punches, no matter what the topic is. See how they tried this? One went for the face, the other one went for the body, and they ain't even take turns. They went at the same time on one person. That's what we talking about, though. I'll rope a dope all day. I clap back like Muhammad Ali.
So like a butterfly.
Hey, what's Wait,
wait a minute.
I'm getting ready to tell you how smooth I am, baby. When I come with it, you're going to want to get caught. That's a whole nother situation.
He bobbing weaving now.
He bobbing weaving now. Don't get scared now, Suade. Don't get scared now.
And all my first ladiness.
It's not scared.
We learned about that earlier. You got that first lady swag. Got that first lady swag.
So y'all can't see it, but I got the whole humble pie over here.
Okay. You better get ready to start eating it.
My family, the queens in my family always was just like that. So this ain't nothing new for me.
Oh, okay.
I laugh at it because I love it.
They gave you that strong dynamic, huh?
No,
I was really going to say that. Yeah.
Never scared. This is respect.
So when we think about like family, like, do you think that majority of the time the whole foundation of pouring that into it, that foundation starts from the queen, or do it start from the king?
I think the women in the family they lay the law down and the males enforce it. Because going off my grandparents, the king and queen of my clan, my grandfather was quiet. From the way when I was coming up, he was quiet. He was wherever he was in the house. That was the discipline part of the house, and nobody wanted to go over there and sit with their grandfather because they couldn't move. Grandma gave you all the chances in the world. You know, the women got the chance cards. My grandfather was one-time verbal warning. After that, you get hands.
Oh yeah, he was straight to it.
Oh yeah, he was straight up the disciplinarian.
Military.
But that was interesting. That's an interesting question.
Yeah, they had 15 kids.
No, you good. You good.
No, I apologize because you asked who set the tone. Like you asked, you know, who run it pretty much, in the king or the queen. And I feel like the queen sets the tone, but having that tone and having that balance and understanding. See, I'm not afraid of the word submissive. That just means I got strength under power. You know what I'm saying? I can put it. I can utilize that thing. Come on, somebody. I'm trying to tell you. I got my strength, but I don't have to usurp it because I understand order. So what happens is the woman sets the tone, but it's the man, like you said, that brings forth that tone. You understand what I'm saying? So he ain't got to say much. She's already set that tone. And
but
she understands.
If your plan ain't too solid, we can't have that consistent basis of going off of the whole overall aspect. So
if you go.
But that's the thing.
Here we go. Let me say this. Again, communication is the key. So if we're the king and the queen, we've already had these discussions to understand and to decide which dynamic we're going to follow. And if we decide that the queen is going to set the tone and that the king is going to be the one that's in power, and like Renee said, it's no problem being submissive to the right king. But if you're not right, like I told you last time, nobody wants to submit to you. So if the king is right, the queen is going to submit. The queen sets the atmosphere. The king is going to enforce everything.
And now look.
And even if they don't, even if it's not like you were saying, if it's not a solid type of law that's laid down, you don't show that in front of the kids. You go off into the other room and the king and the queen had a conversation. Because kids will manipulate and play them apart. And a heartbeat. Once they see that separation chance, it's like my grandfather used to first thing on his mouth, what your mother say.
Exactly.
What your mother say.
Okay.
Exactly.
Then you be like, oh man.
Well, see, if my kids come to me and ask me a question and I know that their father is around, first thing I say is, well, what your dad say? He said no. Well, then the answer is no. But if you say, I haven't asked dad yet, okay, well, tell me what you're thinking, and then I'll make an answer from that.
And then another factor with that is, like you said, understand those two, the king and queens, understanding their dynamic, right? If the king already trusts the queen and how she's handling and or setting the tone, then you don't even have to worry about what's going on, because you know what? I already know what she's going to implement. And because she already holds me in my place, she understands my position. She respects my position. I don't have to second guess whatever it is that she says when it comes down to the environment and what tone she sets.
And that's why I said he was always so quiet.
Right, exactly. And see, they had the conversations before the situations. See, you got to have that conversation before the situation so that you'll know how you're handling it. And if you have the right queen, you can trust that your queen is going to make the right decision. And you just say, you know what, whatever your mother said.
And now I have to go here with
you,
Angie.
Said, right.
Whatever she said. Angie, look, now we got to go here for a minute, though, because you know I'm big on this. Even though I love my sisters, I'm kind of a little hard on my sisters because, see, we put ourselves in position that we start looking for something that we're not willing to give up or we're not willing to deal with. We're not willing to do. No, listen. I ain't for the woman's lib. Okay, all day. I'm just trying to tell you, we got to be in position as well. So, like,
we need copies of y'all.
Speaking, come on, I'm just saying.
We need to take y'all to FedEx Kinko's and make some color copies.
It's not the color copies. No, I mean, really, because listen, so when you talk about medically, right, or we look at how we're designed, if you believe in the divine design, right, we are the guardians of your heart, okay, because we're your rib. So where's your rib cage? Just guarding your heart. So if we ain't got ourselves together, then we're going to do wrong with your heart. You understand what I'm saying? Because you out here trying to lead without bleeding. You understand what I'm saying? We've got to be in the right position to be able to do the right thing. So while we guarding your heart, we have to make sure I ain't messing with Suade.
He talking about bleeding. He said bleeding.
No, I'm
Go ahead, Renee. Look.
No, I mean, so really, in all honesty, so we gotta be in a position, right? We can't be beating you at the knees and wonder why you ain't strong and holding bricks up on your back. We got to help you release the brick up off your back by being in the right position for ourselves, right? And because of that, I don't say that I'm my sister keeper. I am my sister. So while me and Angie talking about how we gonna get together, we're not gonna let you cheat on us. We're not gonna let you. What we're gonna do is we're gonna come together and we're gonna see how we can help build you so that you can be able to build the community, build the family, and build everything around us. But she has to be in her rightful place as well.
Exactly. And see, the rib cage also helps support the body. If you don't have a rib cage, your body can't sit up straight.
Come on, it's collapsing.
Okay, your rib cage helps to hold not only your heart in place, but it helps to support your backbone. And see, what we do too many times is we look at relationships as being two separate individuals. But like I said before, if we get married, we become one.
And two halves don't make a whole. The two wholes make a whole. So you got to work on self.
There you go.
Hey, bro.
So
I think this episode we're gonna be more quiet.
And they making good points. What you have to say.
No, y'all making good points.
But let me just say this, because now we're talking about this. Let me drive it back to your first podcast about female accountability. I'm accountable all day, every day. I'm a Black woman. It's not a morning that I don't get up that I'm not accountable. It's not a day that I go through that I'm not accountable. And it's not a night that when I go to bed, I'm not accountable, because I've checked on everybody in the house and prayed for everybody in the house before I go to bed. Because I got to get me right before I can pray for you to help you get right. All right, so now, Kings, here's what I want to hear. What are you doing to be the head that's on top of this neck and rib cage?
But the first thing, I got to find my own rhythm in this world, this chaotic world, because in every moment in the world, things change. I got to find out what my moral compass and my moral code going to be, so I don't fall for anything. Because that's the problem with us Kings is we see a lot of visual aid out here, you know, a lot of things that's on TVs and magazines and videos, thinking that we can obtain that kind of life without understanding the sacrifice that go with that. And the quickest way that we try to obtain it is the fastest way. Man, I think one time before I sent the video to Rev, and then a man was giving a marriage ceremony, and he said, men are microwaves, women are crock pots. And the reason why men want to be microwaves is because we want everything 30 minutes or less, even behind the bedroom. So it's way different than that when it comes to your actual overall backbone and what the strength that you have of your own self-will. Us as Kings, some of us that are millennials, I'm speaking from a millennial standpoint, we have the backbone, but we don't have the inspiration on how to stand strong with it. And reason why we got more trauma, more scar tissue, more trauma when it done to us as children, because we was raised on survival instead of love. But back in the day, when your grandfather Eric, he was raised on love. That's why he has that disciplinary area over there. He don't say too much, but when he speaks, you listen. Yeah, exactly. But now, we got kids being grandparents. Yeah. We got babies having babies. You know what I'm saying? So we as young men today, we're forgetting how to really understand what being a man is. And a man is a man with a through and through perception. It's not a situation perception. Because if you use things as situational, as when it comes down to family, your children, providing, protecting, you're going to fall short sometimes if you do a situation, because every situation yes, exactly.
Situations change. That's right.
But your through and through aspect ain't never going to change. Because what I was on Monday, I'm going to be on Sunday. How I carried it out on Wednesday, I'm going to see through it on Saturday. But at the end of the day, it has to do with the fortitude of what a man can withstand. Because I was a child raising up my mother and parents, understanding divorce or separation or your parents no longer being together anymore. That was an understanding of, all right, so I'm still going to see you, right? But now, the first thing you think about when your mother and father not together no more, all young women today just straight tell you, well, daddy not going to be here no more. Why do you have to say it like daddy got like you can't the kid can't go live with daddy? The dad or why it seems like it got to be a situation where you got why don't you come together as an adults to pick and choose and make a conscious decision what's the best thing for this child, not for y'all. And I think that's where we have a situation.
Which makes it very necessary for each individual in the relationship to have emotional, spiritual, and mental balance and maturity. Because at the end of the day, once you've allowed a child or once you've brought a child into this relationship, your focus is now on the next generation and imparting into them.
Right.
So that's where the mindset should be. And it takes, honestly, emotionally mature individuals to be able to navigate through that confidently.
And you made a good point there, because what you said was we have children being grandparents. Exactly correct. Like I said, I know somebody, the daughter is 17, the mama is 33, and the grandmama 48.
Dang.
So how do you effectively know how to do anything if none of you've had the opportunity to mature, grow up mentally, spiritually, physically, or anything before you became a parent and a grandparent? So now you have grandma, mom, and granddaughter all partying together.
Yeah, but the problem is they're going to handle experiences and differences differently, because if you're the child and you're raising yourself, you're looking for that answer. If you're the mother, you're looking for that understanding. If you're the grandmother, you're looking for a reason, the reason to bring it to the next level. When you're the mother, the understanding got to be different. I got to understand how I'm going to make this look to my child. I got to understand how I'm going to show my mother how I'm going to get through this. Now, when you the kid, you're looking for that experience because you need that blueprint or that outline be not as clear, but has that clarity to the point where it's not resistant to it. Because the first thing when a child, we speaking about how growing up in a rough time. When we was kids and we grew up in a situation, we went to go seek that wisdom from that older guy. You know, that old head that was on the corner standing there. We asked him a question. He gave us an answer, but the answer was where you had to find the ending of it. He didn't give you the whole thing. He gave you enough where you had to go seek your own intelligence. You know what I mean? You have your own understanding of it. He gave you some of it, but the majority of it. So when you that child and you trying to look for that experience, it got to start inside, because with the answer that you get, you got to be able to carry it around with you. You got to be able to hold it.
Okay, well now can I roll back a little bit though? So you talking about when people split up and daddy's no longer going to be here. The question is, was daddy present from the beginning?
Well, I was getting ready to say that too. I'm like, what if you was a rose through concrete and never daddy was never in the house?
And guess what? And I am a prime example of, you can be a single parent with a man in the house.
Oh, listen, I was married and single.
Me too. Because
wait a minute.
That's like
y'all had to back that up. Wait a minute.
I'm getting ready to explain. I'm getting ready to lay it out for you.
Break it apart. When it's all the same person.
Okay, I'm gonna lay it out for you. I was a single parent because if 3,000 diapers were changed, he changed 4. Okay. I was a single parent because I did all of the stuff that pertained to the child. I paid for daycare. I bought the formula. I bought the diapers. I bought the clothes. I made sure the kid got the daycare. I made sure the kid got home from daycare. If the kid got sick, I was the one who had to take off from work and take care of the kid. If the kid needed to be somewhere, I was the taxi cab and everything. So it is possible to be a single parent even while you're married. That's why, back to the whole root of the thing, communication. If we don't talk, before we start having sex.
Wait a minute. I gotta go deeper than that though, Angie.
Come on, hit him.
Before the communication, we have to, because I'm always talking about relationship, and that first relationship being with yourself. You have to understand who you are and what you're getting yourself into. Before we communicate with anybody else, we got to communicate with self. You understand what I'm saying? Because we entangle ourselves sometimes with individuals who we really either not ready to be in a relationship with, you understand what I'm saying? And not because of the other person, but because of ourselves, right? So you have to understand, why are you seeking this relationship and what are you looking for from this relationship? Because let's just say that single parent, being married or whatever the case may be, being there, listen, I ain't got no shame in my game, right? So here it is. I went marrying a dude because you know what? I'm used to my daddy being a big time drug dealer. So I want somebody to be a hustler. I want them to be a street nigga. I want them to protect me. I want when my mouth go off, they can pop it off with a bullet. That's what I want. So guess what? At some point, that's what I got. But did they change a pamper? No. Did they know how to work? No. Did they know anything about a budget? No. Did they? But guess what? I got what I went looking for. And when I then begin to look for more from this individual, of course, he can't give me the rest of what he wanted because I didn't allow that to be a part of what I wanted when I first went in the beginning. So we can talk all day long, but if he ain't got the fortitude, the skill, the knowledge, or the ability to do it, that's just what I entered into myself.
But as a man, he should have recognized that at the end of the day. If that's all he could bring to the table, that's the issue right there.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to ask while Rev was saying what she was saying, and then strategist kicked in and finished that whole thought. It's like the average person wants that quick fix, that hustler, but then they hustle backwards. Like you just they both just let one of them said the first half of the handbook, the other one came in with the last part of the handbook. But nobody's reading the damn handbook. Mm-hmm. They just laid down the whole strategy to get a real man. And you could use that same strategy to get a real woman.
Amen.
But that L word, it ain't even OVE. It's that us with a T at the end. That's running the show now, because now we're looking for love with our eyes.
Bang.
Only.
Bang. Wait a minute. Hold up. Let me just say this. I had a conversation in the barbershop this morning about this very thing.
The realest conversations take place there.
Okay.
But wait a minute, in the hairdresser, because I have
that too. That place too. Because I go to both places. I go to the hairdresser and the barbershop. But in the barbershop, the conversation was this morning: how do you build a relationship with someone if the only thing you're basing that relationship on is how they look and the lust factor? I have fallen in love with a man.
I'm not feeling that one. I'm sorry, Rev.
The lust factor?
Yeah, I'm not feeling that because I done seen
You think you can build a relationship on the lust factor?
Hell yeah. You know how many women out here that's bad as shit and they got ugly ass baby fathers and shit? How many dudes out here are handsome gentlemen?
Well, see, you didn't let me finish because I was getting ready to say I have been with some men who didn't look anything like what I wanted them to look like, but because they sparked me off here, I'm with them.
Okay, that's cool.
But
did you bring them out in public though? Did you bring them out in public?
Oh, definitely.
In the dark?
I'm just so mad at that.
Let me tell you something. I would never be with anyone that I'm ashamed to walk with.
Well, I ain't gonna lie.
And I don't care whether you think they're ugly or not. As long as I see the beauty in that person, it doesn't matter what you think. It don't matter what she thinks.
Listen, we said we would be real, right?
It may not matter right now because shit good, but when shit bad, her opinion gonna matter. They be like, girl, you should have messed with him anyway because he was ugly as shit.
Listen, baby, before my girls will tell me that, I'm gonna tell my own self that, listen, hey, check this out. You don't know me in public, but for real though, we real, right? I'm just saying, because I'm impartation strategist. Yes, I'm a minister and all that stuff, but I'm saying, but if you hitting it real good, we gonna talk after about 7:30 daylight saving time. But no, don't tell nobody you know me outside. I'm just gonna keep that thing 100 for real.
Now, see, that's not me. I have a whole different experience. And see, this is where different people bring different things to the table. Because see, with me, if I can't be with you in the daytime, I don't want to be with you at nighttime.
That was after my maturing and stuff. I'm just saying, back in the day, I'm like, I ain't got to see you. I just see you when I want to see you.
But see, I have to tell you, my back in the day experience was even something.
Oh no, my back in the day experience was a little different.
See, I know that, and that's why we friends, and that's why we get along, because I know your back in the day is one thing, and my back in the day is a whole nother thing.
But the reality is how the world is today, Rev. People want to take pics, make it look all viral. Like, people want to have that Facebook, that
my thing is,
out
who
there.
are you living for? My thing is
other people.
That's
their family is being built and designed for
that's
other
the
people.
problem right there. That's the problem.
Yeah.
You're too busy living for the camera and
think.
Facebook and Instagram and Snap and everywhere else, but you're not living for yourself and what's going on in your home. See, I know who I am, and because I know who I am, I don't give a damn what Snap, Facebook, nobody else say. Because guess what? When they step to me and say, your man ugly, I'm gonna be like, girl, you better step back. He might be ugly, but he doing what I need him to do for me. He's satisfying my needs.
Well, this ain't no toot of the horn, but Angie, you like you said, you know me, you know my situations and stuff.
Right.
9 times out of 10, any male that I'm with, people are like, "Yo, that's your girl for real? Like, is she on something? Like, how you get her or whatever?" But not understanding, like you said, it's something deeper, right? Because I really do need to be with an individual who intellectually stimulates me. And yes, I've come a long way. I used to be shallow, and yeah, you had to look like something, but you still got to look like something. Because I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't for the Facebook and all the gram and all that stuff. But yeah, we do kind of like look good with the pictures. But you gotta look good with pictures in here for me, not for everybody else. You understand what I'm saying?
Right, in here. Right.
But listen, I do want to talk to Jabez and Suade for a minute because I do have, since we talked about this, we went somewhere else. But being a person such as myself, right? And Angie, like you said, because we've had this conversation, men automatically assuming they have to come a certain angle, a certain way, and this, that, and another. And though I don't have a bar that's way up here, I ain't telling that you can't come with nothing either. You understand what I'm saying? So then you get an individual like myself who I'm okay. I'm okay with me. I'm real good with me. I'm not conceited. I'm not overly, this, that, another. But then what happens when you get to talking to me and you got to find your way in navigating into whatever it is that you think I need when I'm telling you what I need. But now you're way off here because you're only able to provide what it is that you think I need, but not able to provide what I'm telling you.
Ding. And that's important right there. Whether you're a man or a woman, you need to provide what your person needs, your partner needs. You can't just give what you think they need, because if you're giving me what you think I need, you could be way off. And this goes back again to that thing about accountability. Accountability. Don't be trying to read my mind when you don't even know the script to what's going on up here. You can't read my mind. Listen to what I'm telling you. If I'm telling you I need a hug every night when you come home,
that's all.
Come home and give me my hug.
That's all.
But I'm not asking for you to bring your paycheck home. Now, come on, at some point you got to bring it home.
That's if you want to build. That's for you. Right. That ain't even for me. That's for us. That's understanding leaving an inheritance. You know what I'm saying? Passing on that wealth. That ain't what you ain't got to bring me material things. I can sow my own stuff. I understand about the Proverbs 31 woman. I know what I'm doing in my own self. Okay. But what I do need, like you said, can you provide it? But what I know now too, in all honesty, is let's ask an individual. Listen, this is what I know I need. Are you able to provide it? No beef, no nothing. Are you able and willing to give me this? Because if we there, then now I know you're willing. So now we can work with something. Even if you don't know how to do it, we working.
This is the thing. So wait a minute. Y'all said what y'all saying, all of that's jewels. I mean, real big jewel. And I hope people view this. They really pay attention to the conversation y'all just had amongst yourselves. I told you, Baz, we not gonna really have to say too much. Of course, my man say, nah, we gonna say something. But when you on a roll,
he wouldn't be Jabez otherwise.
Right. And I wouldn't, right. I wouldn't be me if I ain't chime in here and there. But when you making a point, keep the floor for as long as you making your point. If I'm quiet this whole episode, it's because both of y'all and him is dropping jewels. It's like I become my grandfather in the conversation. I don't have. I go back to the first episode where I didn't say much. Right.
Well, wait a minute. Let me say this to you, Suade. Okay, you and I, Renee, are of a generation. Okay, Jabez is a millennial. Okay, so my understanding is different. That's why I think we even need to have this conversation with a woman of a millennial age who may see things a little differently than we do. I've lived a certain life, like Renee said, she lived that life. She lived that fast life when she lived it, and I've lived a different kind of life. But these young ladies today, they have a whole different understanding of what the world is than what I have.
You want to call it an understanding? Because I don't think
misunderstanding.
I ain't no damn understanding. These women today don't have no understanding about nothing. Do you? Let me tell you why. They have an illusion. They have something they painted on a canvas. They have something of someone else's failure. They making it they making it their reality.
It's this rap video fantasy that they trying to bring real life.
I look at it as a woman will take a man that's broken, beat down, then try to repair, or even, first of all, you gotta have a responsibility when you're dealing with somebody that's broken, right? You're dealing with somebody broken.
I want to talk right there too for a minute. Go ahead.
When you're dealing with somebody broken and y'all vibing out, y'all dating, y'all in a relationship, or y'all building and you starting a family, or maybe you just had that one night stand, now you got a baby on the way. However you want to spin the scenario, you got to have a responsibility as a man today to identify the good, the bad, and the ugly in your situation and see yourself with that through and through. Because if you're dating somebody and we having a conversation and we talking about you telling me that you done had kids with somebody and this man is doing enough. He not changing the diapers. He only changing it 4 times. Or he's bringing a check halfway home, but he out here doing you. Or he riding in the back of the car. Or y'all riding in separate cars to go to a certain destination. If a man is always giving you his ass to kiss, or a woman is giving you her ass to kiss, and you kissing it because you want to keep your family together, or whatever, you don't want to be alone. You dealing with other issues deeper than that.
You don't want to be alone. See, you throwing these stuff out here and you're going past them, but this is real stuff. The whole broken. Right. You don't want to be alone. That's that stuff right there. That's where that impartation strategy come from.
Right.
You got it.
When they finish coming for each other, I just want to say, well, that's why you got to be fixed yourself before you can even get into something with somebody else. You have to know who you are.
They are first aid and kit themselves, throwing a little bit of Neosporin, some peroxide, or some alcohol, throw a Band-Aid on there with the Goofy logo or the Looney Tunes, and they keeping it moving. Ain't nobody really out here treating the wound that was caused that really hurt them for real. Because they feel like if what you gonna do, another man gonna do, and shit, when I meet this new man and I give him a kid and give him a baby, you out here keep doing trial and error. You don't realize you got multiple kids, multiple situations going on. You don't realize you done dug yourself more in the hole. But when you were here above sea level or above your head above water, you didn't take advantage of that. Now you wait until you're drowning. You want to like, help me. Nah, hell no, help your damn self.
You get mad when the dude don't see.
Not help yourself in the relationship.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Like dudes all of a sudden when it's get ready to be winter time, they start acting real good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, see, but see that.
Spring.
First of all, people are moving.
That's what we're talking about. Seasonal relationships. Y'all have to understand there are seasons for things, right? Now, you have to quote unquote. There's a difference between dating and courting. So when you're dating, you casually out chilling with people or whatever the case may be. When you're courting, you have made the conscious decision to willfully take a friendship into a relationship, but you have to see those seasons. Like you said, you don't know what that person's background is. You don't know what they bring. So you need some time for that to see who this individual is.
So now you're talking about courting and dating.
That's the part we're skipping. The dating and the courting.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
You know why? You know what it is? We customize it.
Yeah, we
not we customize it.
So wait a minute. So we quit. And then dating at the same time. We quit.
Yeah. Because you know why?
We dating and cating.
We're not seeing each other in all 4 seasons. We seeing each other in all 4 situations. So you're not taking me in all 4 seasons because how I adapt during the summer is not how I'm going to adapt during the winter. How I prepare for the fall is not how I prepare for the spring. So if you're taking me with my different track, I feel like when you dating somebody or you courting somebody or you customizing something, that's what I call it, customizing. Because I'm learning you like you learning me. And when I learn about you, my way of dating is I'm gonna give you hell in the beginning.
Wait, listen here. You ain't never lied. I'm gonna give you everything on the table. If you can go ahead on a deal with that from the beginning, we got something. If you walk away, that's good too. Because guess what? I already know what I bring. So listen, and I just got to put this because I just talked about this on how we should find our mates as a woman, and we should actually do as the eagle does. What she does is she actually flies as high as she can, right? And then that man is up there high with it. She drops a twig a little bit, like with some weight in it, and see if he can carry it. She drop another twig a little bit, see if he can carry it. She drop a twig as heavy as herself to see if he can actually carry that thing back. Now we talking about something. You understand what I'm saying? Because now I know you can carry me, and I know you can carry the weight of if we have a family. And that's like you said, getting to know somebody and understand. I asked you questions in the beginning. I want to know your mental health. I want to know your physical health. I want to know what's in. And then look, I want to know, and not even just about your credit. Check this out. You can build some credit shops. Listen, I'm from West Baltimore. We're going to find whatever it is that we need to get. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to tell you. But I need to know what's going on biologically and genetically, what's going on, because see, guess what? That's going to be a part of my genetics. That's going to be a part of what's going on if we create something else. So I need to know that stuff. And don't tell me, let me experience it, because I'm going to. But I also have to see that your experience matches up with what you say as well, because I'm going to need, listen, at the end of the day, I'm going to need your word, right? Because your word is your bond. So I may experience something from you that really triggers my own experience, and I may read that thing wrong. So I really need to know where it is that you're coming from. So now you're going to show me exactly what you said. But guess what? If I don't ask the questions, I won't know it. You ain't going to go buy a car or a house or anything else without asking them a whole bunch of questions. Because you know what? You're making an investment. Relationships are an investment.
You forgot the add-on part on that. Like Rev said, communication is key. Well, me and Rev talked about when you got communication is key, you got to realize it's to lock doors, not unlock doors. But you got to communicate with me. I want to communicate with you to your lock doors to gain access to go between things. You don't want me to know. Because if you telling me stuff that you want me to know, that means that door is always open. What about the doors? Or hell, it may not even be a door. It could be a window. It could be a dungeon. It could be a cage. It could be something that you don't want nobody to have access to. Tell me there's things that you don't want me to know.
Ooh, tell me the things you don't want me to know. I like that.
Because I want to know your darkness. So when I see you in the light, I know that there's an area over there, like it was in Lion King, when my man told him that shadowy area over there, that's the graveyard. Oh yeah, that's the only kings can go over there. Only people that's ready can go over there. You too young, you inexperienced.
Wait a minute. Well, Jabez, we've talked before about, I told a man when I meet him in the beginning, let me tell you something. I'm not anything to be played with. I'm a little unhinged. I'm a little frightening. I got some things with me. You better watch yourself, because I'm telling you now, this East Baltimore will come up out of this, sister, and I will lay it on you, and boom, that's it. And when we having that discussion, we're going to have that discussion, because I'm going to tell you that up front. I'm a little crazy. I'm a little certifiably crazy.
I'm going to tell you, I'm going to do something vulnerable and see how you handle it.
It's not presented correctly.
That too.
Because the approach ain't about getting to know you. It's just about getting you.
Right.
That right there.
That part right there. Right.
That part right there.
That part right there.
We don't have patience for all of that. I want to get straight to that point right there. I don't want to get to know you.
But see, that's where I was talking about. But see, that's where I was talking about that whole lust thing. How we let lust get ride and dictate everything in the beginning. And like I said, we meet in the middle of the street, fall down, start having sex. And then when we get run over by the bus, we want to know why we got ran over by the bus.
Because you should have moved it over a little bit to the curb. I'm just saying.
Okay. And moving it over to the curb means I need to let you know straight up and down I'm crazy as hell.
Over to the curb a little bit.
Moving over to the curb.
Move it over to the curb.
Not too close to the yellow line. You know what I'm saying? Because then you got two-way traffic. Just scoot it over a little bit.
Pull over. In a safe zone.
And
if we get over to the curb, eventually we'll get up on the sidewalk.
I'm trying to tell you.
Deal with some stuff. But see, right now, if we laying in the middle of the street, we open. Fair game.
Well, let me say this. Let me give an example. I'm gonna give y'all an example in a scenario. let's say now we have our family. No, we have our family. We're the family. Me and the woman are together, and we're family now. We're dating. We're courting each other. We're in a relationship. We're like 2-3 years in, and now we want to have a kid. And so now that we want to have a kid, I want to understand who the person I want to have a kid with. So the only word I can have understanding who I'm gonna have a kid with, I have to bring my luggage, and I want you to bring your luggage.
Right.
I want us to go somewhere, and I want us to sit down. And baby, I want you to open your luggage, and I'm gonna open my luggage. And I want us to go.
That's when they say you go first. No,
right.
You go first.
Yeah, right.
You want me to open mine first, so you can safeguard yours.
Yeah.
That's not.
Well, maybe on a general, but a little specific.
So the thing is, see, what Suade trying to tell you, the trick was, it wasn't about opening the luggage. It's about after we open the luggage, we got to decide to go buy a luggage bag together that can hold both our stuff. So the thing was that we talked about this in the barbershop. The thing is, people today want to have different luggages, but swap things instead of just going to buy a whole new bag together, because we got to learn to put our eyes down and pick up our us. Yeah. We got to learn this a we thing now. So when we go get this new luggage and we take out babe, take your shirt out, take your 2 shirts out, I'm going to take my 2 pants out, and we're going to put this in here. We're going to pack this one bag together.
Well, I just got to interject. We're packing that bag together. Let's be this. We have to be careful that we're not packing that bag together and wearing each other's clothing. What I'm saying is, like I said, that emotional wholeness. I'm not attached to you because you've had abuse and I've had abuse. So let's build on that abuse, because guess what? You're both going to still have a unfirm foundation. It's going to be shaky. So as soon as one get healed, per se, then now you ain't got no relationship, because you know what? You just built it on what wasn't healthy anyway. So let's just be careful how we, putting our clothes back in the bag together.
Right. And that's what I was getting ready to say too. Because what kind of shit is, what kind of stuff are you? I'm real. What kind of crap are you bringing that you say you want to put in our bag together? Because there's certain stuff that's too raggedy to come in the bag. Because I'm not going to let you bring your holy drawers. I'm not going to let you bring your high water pants. I'm not going to let you bring your shirt that's got a stain on it from another chick lipstick. Okay, you're not putting that in my bag. Okay, what you putting in my bag gotta be right. And what I'm putting in your bag has to be right. And
little torn material that you can restore. Come on and repair.
Come on now, because see, some stuff we can take a little needle and thread and we can mend it. But some other stuff is so busted and messed up, we don't even want to put it in the suitcase. Period.
And that's why we got the divorced individuals that we've been with before anyway, because we don't want to put that in there either. You understand what I'm saying? Flipping like he did, rubbing like she did, turn it over that way. We don't need all that. It's a whole new experience in your luggage.
Question. Let me ask a question real quick.
Okay.
First, y'all gotta learn how to share the damn floor. Renee.
It's good.
Renee, I was quiet.
Renee. Anyway, not long enough. Anyway. We have problems with that first letter. And when I say the first letter, we got a problem learning how to flip that M upside down.
I got you.
Yeah, y'all was kicking mad. Y'all was kicking crazy facts about stuff in the luggage bag that's supposed to be ours. And piggybacking on that, like I was saying before, like y'all was saying, you got to know what to put in that bag.
Right.
You can put stuff in. If it's broke, it can be fixed by both of you. A problem is one person out of the two, and it's almost certain one of them 2 people is going to say it's something wrong with you, but it ain't nothing wrong with me. Because people get real attitudes when you start pointing out their flaws. But they can point yours out all day, every day. And I'm not trying to sound sexist. It just is what the hell it is.
Why do you think that is?
For example, when you gonna go get your hair cut?
Oh, well,
but when you say, when you gonna go get your hair done? It's an attitude now.
No.
But you gotta understand who you're dealing with, baby. Because when you
it depends on who you're dealing with.
Absolutely, that is individual.
It depends on who you're dealing with, but that's what everybody says. But we're all the same in certain things. We just had.
I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna agree with that.
I expected y'all to be that way. And there's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm saying is that the majority rules. Majority rules. We're in that situation.
Majority might speak louder.
The minor side. So the majority rules is saying, what kind of girls is you messing with or talking to? What kind of dudes is you messing with or talking to? We're all the same naturally. We just have things here and there that make us stand out.
That's why you got to give them hell in the beginning, bro.
And that's when you give them hell in the damn beginning.
You give them hell in the beginning.
My people used to always say, I don't get with nobody until I see how they react to situations when they mad.
Well, now come on.
Not only a drunk tongue speaks the truth. A drunk tongue speaks the truth, but an angry tongue don't give a damn no more. And that's when the stuff comes out to hurt you.
But a frustrated person will tell you that unfocusedness. A frustrated person will show you that unfocusedness. When you're dealing with a person that, let's say if you're talking to somebody, you quoting somebody, and y'all talking, and y'all dealing with each other, and y'all having issues. When the fact that you can't come and have a conversation to even make time to address something, that has something to do with a character or how they address you. If you're talking to somebody and they cussing at you all day, or they already know how to communicate with throwing hands or spitting at you or just doing something other than getting the point across, you're already seeing that toxicity in themselves. You're already seeing how toxic that they are.
So that's different from really opening up your suitcase and putting it. That's something that now you're experiencing and you're seeing whether you want to deal with it.
Their dosage of damage and trauma that they bring into the next level. So as a man, a real man, you need a lady to isolate that and deal with that, because that's an issue and a problem that need to be fixed, addressed,
or walked away from.
You gotta walk away from.
Well, now wait a minute. Let me hit you with this here then, because see, you talk about bringing the bad in the beginning. Yeah, that's to a certain degree. But if you're working all the time to make me angry from the beginning,
you're gonna get what you put out.
Wait a minute. Not only that, I'm going to consider that toxic. And I'm going to turn and go the other way. Because see, when somebody seeks to frustrate me, make me angry all the time, and never seeks to get a decent conversation, that says to me, oh, well, they're not ready. They're not ready. And it's time for me to cut this off, because I'm going to keep it real with you. It is okay to cut off a toxic situation, whether it is a person you're dating, whether it is a person who's your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, your aunt, uncle, nephew, niece, whoever. If somebody is toxic for you, you need to cut that off. And I'm telling you straight up and down. Jabez, we talk, and you're not gonna come at me with the craziness too crazy in the beginning, because I'm gonna let you know in the beginning I'm crazy just like you are, and you don't want to open this box up, but I'm gonna let you know, you keep trying to make me mad, it's over.
That's not what I mean. That's not what I mean about giving hell in the beginning.
Okay. So what do you mean? Clarify that for me.
So let me clarify that. When you have in the beginning in the avenues of building a family or dealing with somebody where you can see yourself building off of, your clarity gonna come from your hard struggles gonna come from the shape of it all. When you understand where they was before they got to you, where they got to you, and where y'all can go. So when you have that understanding of where you could go with someone, you gotta identify the things that you gotta take along your journey that you may have to lighten your load or add to your load. So if you're having situations where, let's say a damsel in distress, your car breakdown, you don't call me until after the tow truck, until you get home. Why you ain't call me and let me know that you was in it?
No. I'm gonna call you the minute my car break down on the side of the road. You my first phone call.
Well, some women today so damn strong you can't even buy them a goddamn bottle of water. So what makes you think she gonna call me if I tire broke?
I just learned how to be thirsty.
You know what?
Wait a minute. Hold up.
I'm done.
Right. And but even still, back to that, break it down on the side of the road. Look, my daddy, when my tire go down, my daddy taught me. He said, in order for you to learn how to drive, you need to know how to change the tire and check the oil and be able to add oil to the car. Okay. So if my tire goes flat on the side of the road, I'm going to get out and I'm going to try to loosen those lug nuts. But what I'm going to find out is that they were put on with a pressure drill and I can't loosen them up. And I'm in my cute skirt and my high heels, and I can't stand up on this I can't think of the name.
Thing. I got you.
Yeah, I can't stand up on this and make it loosen up. So then I'm gonna be like, hey, babe, look,
but you got to, and look, but Angie, you got to assess your partner as well, right? Because where my strength is may be his weakness, and that doesn't make him a weak individual. That's just saying, hey, I can go ahead and change my own tire, not because I'm trying to usurp my authority as a man. It's just that this is something I can do. You understand what I'm saying? It may not be something he can do, and that doesn't make him weaker or me stronger. That just says I know how to balance you. I know what you bring, and you know what I bring, and what we do is we balance that thing together. But I'm gonna tell you, it was only through maturity for me to learn that. Being that I've been on my own since I was 14 years old, I advocated for myself, and it was all about me. Nate was a superhero. I did it to my own self. I brought a man along just because. But I learned in my maturity that, wait a minute, I got to understand who I'm dealing with. And I got to see who he is. And I need to understand that, check this out, me not being able to do don't make me a damsel in distress. It makes me respect the man that I have. You understand what I'm saying? So I hope somebody brought that nugget, because you can still be strong and do your thing.
Exactly. And it's not saying that I'm weak, though. Even when I'm the damsel in distress, it's not saying that I'm weak.
I like playing her. I grew up.
Just saying, hey, baby, I need you to know what's going on, because for real, mama gonna call a tow truck, but I might need you to be out here when the tow truck comes, because I done seen some shady tow truck drivers. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I need my man there to support me. It's not that I'm weak. I just need you there to support me, because I recognize that there could be danger on the road. Things are bumpy. I can remember now, all of y'all from Baltimore, I can remember before the era of cell phones, I had a flat tire up on 395 up in Spaghetti Junction. You know how when you getting on 395 from oh Lord, MLK?
Yeah, I'm in the city hood. I only knew about 695. I don't know about 395.
And you get on 395. I was up on that bridge with this bridge doing this. And it was before cell phones with my little 92 Hyundai Elantra. So I couldn't call my father. I couldn't call my husband. And so I'm up there trying to, and like I said, in the cute skirt, high heels, on my way to work, trying to change the tire. Thank God, this guy, black guy, thank you, Lord, he stopped. He said, listen, babe, I'm going to help you change this tire, because I'm not going to leave you up here. And I'm not going to ask you to get in my car because I'm aware of the dangers. But I'm going to help change this car, because guess what? If that was my lady stuck out here, I would hope somebody would stop and help her. Because I had put stuff back in my car and was getting ready to start walking back down 395 to make a phone call to try to get a tow truck or to get my dad to come. Because my husband was at work.
That would be me in that situation. I always use my mom as that example. Like you said, you know, the guy said if that was my lady, I use my mom in a lot of them kind of situations. So like I see when I used to rent cars and stuff like that, and I would just go out, just ride around, just making lefts and rights, just you know, it's therapeutic just to go for a ride sometimes. But then it'd be raining, and I would see a lady on the bus stop with a baby and with a stroller, or with a baby in her arms. All of a sudden, my heart is soft. I would pull over. Her, I guess, experiences don't trust that. They don't see or recognize or even have the I want to say, for lack of a better word, the vision to see a good dude. They just see a guy appearing to be an opportunist because she's at a disadvantage. I'm like, sweetheart, I'm not that person. I just don't like seeing a woman with her child on the street, knowing you got family members who could have came and got you, and senior citizens as well, if not more. But for the most part, I've just saw the young ladies or the or grown women on corners with babies in bad weather. And I'll give them a ride to wherever they want to go. You don't have to take me all the way to your house if that's how you feel.
I can let you out of block. I can let you out of block of the head.
Let me get you at least to the corner of your block. That way I'll feel better knowing all you got to do is go down the street a little bit. You ain't got to wait for the bus that might not show up. You ain't got to take a chance on holding your hand out and getting a hat. I'm not coming to you as a hat because when you say what you want for that, I don't want nothing. I'm all right. You're safe. My payment is your safety, but it's not a lot of dudes like us out there. Like I said, everything that we're talking about right now, we're considered the minority in that.
Yes.
Because the majority is who we're trying to talk to with these podcasts. That's why it's called uncomfortable conversations. Y'all come for me all day on this podcast. I love it. This is what it's for, Renee.
Right.
You're the only one. You keep saying my daggone name. I'm gonna be able to say your daggone name back.
This guy. Here we go.
Oh Lord, here we go.
But no, it's all love on the real. It's all love. I don't hear
what you say, Nay? I missed that. What you say?
We good. We good.
Bro.
Wait a minute.
Do me like that?
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Anyway, I'm gonna be the grown up in this.
What I'm gonna say to you, Suade, is this. All right. First of all, you gotta stop coming for my girl. That's number one.
I'm not doing nothing.
Tell her that. Wait a minute. But number two, here's what I'm gonna say to you.
No.
Women watch the news.
So do I.
Women have experienced things. And so you could be the greatest guy in the world and you pull over to pick up me and my baby. But if I just watched on the news this morning that some dude picked up a woman and a baby and, burned them up over in Druid Park somewhere, I ain't getting in your car. But I do understand what you're saying. And I also understand the fact, let me tell you something. I'm Baltimore born and raised, but let me tell you something. I am not putting my hand out for no hat.
I got you. But and I'm not saying that every time I did it, they accepted it. I've pulled off more than they've actually got in. And I completely understand it, but I still left feeling bad. I'm like, I just be like, look, I hope that they get home safe. That's the most that I could do.
So I got a question. Do you think our family issues started from our issues growing up as a child to where things is misunderstood in our adulthood?
Absolutely.
Yes.
90% at least.
Yes.
Because you got to respect the laws of the house before you respect the laws of the street.
And in addition to that, understanding the environment. I came from a single Black mom who worked 2 jobs. I kept material things. She kept me good. I didn't need nothing, didn't lack nothing except her attention. You understand what I'm saying? And she was strong. I saw her as powerful. I saw her as strong. I saw her as not needing a man. You know what I mean? And that's how I carried myself from the beginning. I need no man. You know what I mean? I could do it on my own. Because see, I seen my mama do that. That was my environment. I need no man to do nothing. If anything, he was an accessory to me when I wanted it to be. Only to mature and understand it. Like, hold up. I need my brother.
Well, see, my environment was something totally different. My environment was I had mom and dad both there. Mom was strong as she wanted to be, but dad was the protector. Dad was the dude. He was the strength. He was the power. My dad was the kind of guy that he didn't have no problem with my mom going to work, coming home, bringing money home. When she started making as much as he made, when she started making more than he made, my dad ain't had no problem with that because he knew who he was, what his position was in the house. Now, back to that barbershop conversation. God bless you. Back to that conversation this morning at the barbershop. You got to talk about how you were raised, especially when you start having kids. Because one of the things that we talked about is this whole thing. Because see, I've been in blended families and I married a man when I had a child. Well, we failed to talk about before we got married how you viewed the kitchen in your house. Okay. Because my teenager goes in the refrigerator and cooks what she wants to eat. And he flips out calling me up. Well, what's she doing going in my refrigerator? Blah, blah. Wait a minute. Hold up, player. Hold up. She was raised that if something was in the refrigerator and she can cook, go ahead and eat it. because that's why it's there.
Ain't she home?
Yeah, she home.
Then what's the big deal, bro?
Because he was raised that you didn't go in the refrigerator without permission. He was raised by a single mom. You don't go in my refrigerator without permission. But I was raised by my parents that if it's in the refrigerator, unless you know it belonged to somebody else, you go ahead on there and eat it.
Wash your hands first, of course.
And then if you use the last of it, wash your hands first, definitely. But if you eat or drink the last of it, you need to let somebody know so it can be replaced.
Yeah.
Now, but we got in a whole battle about that refrigerator thing.
And I grew up in a refrigerator. People wrote their name on it, so you don't touch it if their name was on it.
And sometimes stuff was in there with a name on it, or sometimes you knew certain stuff was for dad or for mom. But other than that, you could go in the refrigerator. But that was a discussion we didn't have. But guess what? I learned from that. So now, if I counsel a couple before they get married, I'm like, y'all need to have a discussion about children and about the refrigerator. Hello? Because the refrigerator caused a whole uproar in my home. When I say a whole uproar. And because the person I was in the relationship was a narcissistic individual, I'm here to put it out there to you. I'm keeping it real. Because they were a narcissistic individual, they had a whole problem with it. And that turned into a week-long argument about how I was at fault because the way I learned how to deal with children was totally wrong.
Well, I know
this is somebody that never had a kid.
A whole week.
Discipline is a big factor when you coming into a blended family and starting your own family. I think that that's very important as well, because my first marriage, don't come for me, Suade. My first marriage, that was a big issue.
I'm listening to the jewel.
And honestly, we have to understand that that's very important, because those are formative years, and that's how we are shaping the next generation and understanding self-affirmation, validation, and how to conduct themselves as parents in relationships as well. So, that was a big issue for me. I married a man who had a child, and of course I had a child, and he had a daughter. I had a son. Now, he had his issues with his dad that I didn't fully know at that time, whatever, even though his dad was in the house, like you said, a mom and dad in the house. But he was under the impression that, he was going to discipline the way he disciplined without me. Now, I'm thinking, listen, we're blending, so we have to understand discipline. I'm not going to go and do anything to your child, until I talk to you. So at that moment, it's funny. It wasn't funny then, but I was in college. I didn't come home from work. I went straight to school. And my son at that time was maybe about 6 years old, and he had gotten into something at school, right? And instead of him, my husband at the time, waiting for me to get home, like I said, let's talk about it when we get home, and then we'll discuss how he put hands on him. Well, he hadn't really figured out the rest of the raft of, Parkheist and Oswego Renee. So all I'm going to tell you is that the police showed up. And because I beat him like he stole something. Like, don't you ever put your hands on someone who can't defend himself, because I said to wait, and we'll talk about that. But that shaped, I went in. I'm like, for real though, I thought I was going to jail, but praise God for grace.
I can turn a limo ride.
I'm just saying, because I'm like, and that was important, because listen to what you just did now though. You just did something to a child, right? Without, I'm the parent, like you said, single parent blendiness. I was your protector. Now your protector is not there, and now you don't know what to do from this. You know what I'm saying? So now you're creating more problems in that household than you're actually doing with this. Like you said, we talked about this before. Communication. Let's talk about this situation didn't come up. Now that it's here, let's not utilize what your past was and how you do things, because we're blended. We're coming as relationships is how do you relate? What do you, I don't know your background right now. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we dated for a year before marrying, but I don't know your full background. We still got things that we got the experience together for us to understand. So discipline is, another thing. How were you disciplined? And the crazy thing about it is, like I said, I was single mom. Mom put hands on you all day long. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing to go to school, your tooth missing because you said something. You know what I mean? But that wasn't what I wanted to do when it came down to, I'm trying to tell y'all, listen, y'all gonna have me back on it.
Hey, yo, you go to school with your tooth missing.
Yeah, my mother worked for Baltimore City Police Department. She had a protection when I went to school with no tooth. I still was gonna be good. Absolutely.
I'm tired of wiping my eyes. Now, both of y'all
wait a minute. Hold up here. And with raising children, see, to me, that's a conversation you had before you even get married. Because let me tell you something. Even the children, like I told you, that y'all decide to have together can mess you up. And the reason I say they can mess you up is because kids know how to play both sides against the middle, for one thing. Number two, if you don't know how you're going to discipline your child before you even have your child, then you messed up and at a disadvantage anyway. Because we should have a plan as to how you're going to discipline them before we even get there.
But Angie, we said this from the beginning, guys, didn't you? When I was talking about we go into relationships really knowing what we want or what we're looking for. Dude was just looking to marry me because I was stability. You know what I'm saying? He had a kid, but from before that he felt like the mother wasn't doing too good. So he like, okay, I see this female. She's got it together. She's doing this. I'm moving. Here goes some stability. It really wasn't coming in. It was selfish. It wasn't like you were coming in to really make a family. You was coming in because you had something in mind that you wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? And real talk, I did too. I mean, I was a teenage mom. I wanted to put a daddy in the house. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to no more be quote unquote looked at like a bastard. I'm being real with you. That is real.
I'm gonna need you to repeat that.
Okay.
One more damn time.
Yeah,
and make sure you
and more louder for the people in the back.
One more time.
Okay, for the people in the back.
That was a jewel you ain't gonna find in their mountain.
That is so much uncomfortable right there. Right. I'm gonna need you to say that one more time.
Okay. Right. So the first time I got married, it had nothing to do with love. What I was trying to get, it was the fact of the matter is I just wanted a man because I had a baby out of wedlock and I was in the church. So I didn't want to look bad and I didn't want my son to be a bastard. So the first thing that looked like he was going to be okay in my home, I said I do. Grew my hair long, got my waist snatched, stood in front of the altar and said, yup, I do. Ain't even like the Negro. I'm not even lying to you. Didn't even like him.
I need to hear the part again about the only reason why he married you is because he needed some stability. Because
and that's real.
Right.
Hold up.
Both of those points though.
That was all messed up.
Oh, that was
and that's why it lasted 3 months. That's why it lasted 3 months. Because then after the wedding, I put all this stuff outside. I threw all the clothes away that I didn't like because he was homely. And then I put all his rest of the stuff outside in the Glad bag. I'm sorry, I invested in Glad trash bags because that's how I put it.
She didn't even use that.
She mad, but when she put his stuff in, it was in Glad bags.
In Glad bags. Yes, I did. Put it outside. Wait a minute. Then that wasn't enough. If that wasn't enough, I'm just going to tell y'all the truth. Homeboy came home one day and I had moved.
Damn.
The apartment was empty. I rolled out. I moved.
Damn. Didn't tell
well, ladies and gentlemen, it just got real. It just got real.
I was getting ready to say.
We're coming to that part, but it just got real right there. Because
it did.
When they ready to walk away,
there's no coming back.
It's no coming back.
Nah.
Oh, it was none.
It's just like a lot of people not gonna like who I'm about to quote, but damn that. When a woman's fed up,
okay,
ain't shit you can do about it.
When a woman's fed up,
and this is not even a to downplay this one characteristic, but a woman, like I said, women hold the chance cards. They give you chance after chance after chance after chance, depending on. But when them chance cards is run out, she don't feel like making no more copies. You can have all the game in the world.
Cancel Christmas.
And it's cancel Christmas and all them other giving holidays.
Sometimes, and some fellas, that's not okay to just walk away because that's when his nature of we done power. When you done. That's not what I'm doing. And it's the conversation part.
It's power in the breakup.
It's the conversation part and the dismissal that people don't like to address when it comes to family.
Right.
When it comes to understanding the family, dealing with the family, because it's the dismissal part.
Well, see, no. Here's the thing. You weren't listening the whole time I was communicating with you. You weren't willing to participate in the conversation. I've tried to have the conversation with you. You aren't getting it. And right now, I'm getting beat up. My kid getting beat up, if not physically, mentally, and emotionally, okay? And so now I need to expediently get myself out of that situation. Now, what I will say is this. I'm gonna let you know.
Appreciate it.
Cause see, both basically what I'm gonna say to you is, look, you're gonna look up one day and I'm gonna be gone. You need to believe me.
Them too many words. Them too many words. Them too many words, Angie. Them too many words.
I'm out.
Just let them look up and you gone. Don't them too many words. You ain't got to preface it. It's just I'm gone. Because see now, because if I give you too many more words, you're going to you may be good at verse and communication, and you may still try to do something, say something. So I'm not giving you a clue. I'm out.
You ain't that good. You ain't that good. I'm sorry, because when I've made my decision that I'm gone, I don't care how good you think you are. You go Suave, you are over. Cancel Christmas.
My mother packed up so much stuff, I almost got put in the bag.
Okay.
Now you know I've never done that.
That's how fed up she was.
So what would you say? What would y'all say? I'm gonna let everybody have a moment of good 2 minutes to say. What would you say to somebody when they want to have a family, build a family, or just have the idea of understanding what family is? Starting with the Rev.
Get to know yourself first, then get to know that person. You need to know your limitations, and you need to make your limitations known up front. You need to listen. I'm like Maya Angelou. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. So the first time they show you that they crazy and they ain't the kind of crazy you can deal with, believe them and get out of there. That's my 2-minute thing right there.
Strategist.
I would have to agree with Angie with knowing yourself. And I would have to add on there to know your why. Your why is important.
Yes.
Why do you want to be in this relationship? Why is family important to you? Why is this? Because with every why, you're going to find your answers. And when you find your answers, it'll be better when you find the person that actually meets your whys. And it's good to question yourself, to know yourself, to question it. And once you do that, like I said, you'll put yourself in a better position to have the relationship with another individual because you've already answered your own whys.
Go ahead, impartation strategist.
I like that.
Hit it, Nay.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, like the queens just said, know yourself. One of my favorite questions is why, because that's almost impossible to answer. Most people only respond to that. For the guys, if a guy feels a certain level to want to bring that young lady home to meet anybody, if you bringing a female home, introduce her to the females in your family. Young ladies, if you're bringing a guy home, introduce her to the males in your family. They're gonna see right through that person and put you on. Get your information from the elders in your family.
That's right, wise elders. I was getting ready to hit with that because some elders not wise.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. We all four of us are intelligent enough to break that down. That's why I didn't break that down. I knew y'all knew what I meant.
But you talking
to everybody, yeah. So like the queen just said, wise elders.
Yes.
I'm looking at the camera right now. Wise elders, not the dumbasses in your. You ain't gotta be blood related. You can still be considered family.
All right.
You know, so like they said, know your whys, know yourself. Go to the wise elders because everything we talked about are things that these questions only develop after your experience. Because we touched a lot of specific things that you're not gonna come with them questions in the beginning. You only can do that like y'all been through y'all things, we've been through our things. That's when the questions come.
Right.
And we can only pass that information to the next generation, especially our kids.
I'm gonna say family is you gotta be your truth. It gotta be your center of it all. Because legacy, a man's legacy, is something he has to understand is going to be made regardless. It's going to be made by choice or by force. How you want your legacy to live on, that's up to you. How you want your children to understand their legacy, that's up to you too. how you have your legacy to be painted, written, drawn out, or even understand, that's up to you. And to address strategist and Suade, another thing about family is that it's not just the why for me. It's the how and the what.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
How you go about things
Yes.
is where the world going to see it, the impact.
Mm-hmm.
What you do with that open opportunity is what they're going to see the result of your why.
Right.
Because your why is going to energize your what, and then it's going to show the equal result of how it came about. So when you put those three things together, you'll understand your when and your where.
Mm-hmm.
And when you understand that, it's going to take you to a level of, this is my family, and I'm going to do everything I got to do to keep it together. Because my wife and I, my girlfriend, my whatever the situation may be, I'm doing this for our family because this is the best thing that I have in my life. It's all that I need and all that I want. When I realize that, I'm going to do everything I can to keep it all together by any means necessary.
That 5+1 question.
I'm going to hope doing it without losing yourself.
Yeah.
Yes, doing it without losing yourself.
Yeah. Like we touched a couple of the W's, but you got to come with all 5 plus that 6th one.
Yeah.
Which is how.
Yeah.
This is how you get, and you break all of them. Each one of them is the Roman numeral to your outline.
Yep.
Come on now, and then you have A, B, C, D,
and
maybe
then the
1, 2, 3 under the A, B, C.
Exactly.
Right.
Under
That's
each
right.
one, the 5 W's, the 5 W's, and that H should be the foundation of y'all relationship.
This has been an extraordinary conversation.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot. I thank y'all so much. Rev and Miss Strategist.
We got she coming back.
We might gotta.
And listen, fellas,
Rev, you already know you solidified, Rev, but we gotta have strategists.
Yeah,
well, listen, fellas, I literally just secured my own channel on. It's called KP Media Television. I would love to have you guys on as well.
Oh yeah.
This is what's up. This is what I do. So, yours is the uncomfortable conversation, and everything I do is out the box, right? So I'm having some talks, and Angie knows I've been rejected by the church house, even being licensed and ordained, and that's where the impartation, like I said, comes from. Because I'm all things, right? We ain't just saying one part. We holistic. So I'm dealing with your soul and your spirit, and I need these. We need these uncomfortable conversations because these are the things that people actually get healed, hold, and delivered by. Things that are not talked about, but that are talked about in such an arena that it's wisdom, you know what I mean? And it brings some solution and not always just be, let's focus on the problem. So I'm loving this. Y'all gonna have me back. I already speak it.
Well, thank you.
And bring them hand gestures with you too.
Bring all that with me.
Oh man.
Bring my first lady.
Yeah, we got
the best of both sides to be more.
Yeah, we definitely do.
Yes, we do. Yes.
Well, thank y'all for coming on. It's in everything we do. We appreciate it. Peace.
Peace.
Box out.